We don't like talking about price targets so much, but yours is up there, so I like to open with that. 250.
Mine's starting to get conservative. 250K by the end of 22, or the beginning of 2023. And my thinking is that at that point, people are going to realize that there is a better currency. They'll start being able to spend it maybe with OpenNode at retail. They'll be able to buy groceries with it. And at that point, it's going to soar, because why would you ever hold on to a currency that is fiat when you can hold one that's crypto that does everything else that the fiat does?
Yeah, that's always one of the interesting things.
Now with more on the recent crypto swings, Kevin O'Leary, he's O'Shares ETF's chairman, a CNBC contributor. He's also at the conference. Are you there because you're a believer in Bitcoin, Kevin?
No, I've always known that it was going to be very volatile relative to the dollar. Yep. In some ways, you could argue that the dollar is very volatile against Bitcoin as it slowly works its way out of our lives and out of the system.
Mark, I remember several years ago, you predicted that Bitcoin would go to 40,000. Bitcoin went to 40,000. Now it's back below 40,000. What are your latest thoughts?
But for now, yeah, it seems very volatile, but every big change in the world, every transformation goes through fits and starts, and we expect plenty more to come, although I think the amplitude of the vicissitudes is going to be smaller over time.
Yeah, less volatile, and we're already kind of seeing that as we're sitting here in this range-bound $30,000 range.
I'm actually an investor now in Ethereum and Bitcoin, but that description of the event is correct. It's chaos. It's Woodstock. I was there for 4 hours today. I'm hosting a panel tomorrow with all the public miners.
Well, let's talk about sustainability, because that's one of those things that we've heard issues among institutional investors. Kevin O'Leary was talking about it potentially being a problem, and then we saw Elon Musk come out. As a VC, I mean, what do you look at that as maybe an issue that could be overblown? What are your thoughts?
There's really two worlds happening here, Scott. Number one is the Bitcoin environment and the debate going around Bitcoin, and the number one issue is ESG, as you just detailed. We can't seem to get the institutional client to allocate yet until we resolve the ESG issues. So that's going to be one of the discussions at the fore tomorrow at the 10:30 public session.
On whether or not
So I think institutional investors, they've been operating in dollars for a very long time. And they're thinking, oh, this has always been our safe haven. Everything's been safe. Well, now they're seeing big rampant inflation coming. They're seeing people with a little less confidence in the dollar. They're seeing threats from digital yuan or whatever. What they're starting to realize is, as fiduciaries, they really need to get some Bitcoin so that they have some sort of a hedge against the inflation that's coming.
All around the periphery, the other 30,000 people are dealing with DeFi. And so the more volatility you get in Bitcoin, the more interest, contract, and yield you can get from DeFi with stablecoins. So you can now make a 9% interest yield, where you can't do that in cash anywhere. And that's the other half of what's going on here, is the Bitcoin is still the #1 gold in cryptocurrencies that institutions want to allocate 3 to 5% in, but can't yet because their ESG committees won't let them. And on the other side of this coin is the volatility giving you huge opportunities with decentralized finance. Yeah. You actually do smart contracts on the chain. And these are the things that I've invested in of late, because I can't make 9% anywhere with my cash. I don't even make any money in a bank anymore.
Let me ask you this.
And so
on that note, let me ask you this,
like crazy.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And many fiduciaries are starting to recognize that, but some will come in and go out, and they'll get political pressures or whatever pressures to leave the system or come back into the system. But longer term, we all know that it's just better currency. And eventually the customer is going to recognize that it's just better currency to operate with a currency that is completely free and open and completely trusted.
You know, when I did that, I just thought you were going to have, once a market is created, it's there. That to me was the reason why I thought it was interesting on Bitcoin. And I thought that as soon as you had institutional investors coming in, the price would move up. I think today, I honestly don't know where it's going to go, but you've got that market, it's there. I could make you an argument it could go to 100,000. I can make you an argument it could go to sort of 20,000. I think the probability, as more and more people keep using Bitcoin, it's going to keep moving up. But yeah, it's happened a little bit quicker than I thought it would. I should have bought a lot more. It
sounds like you were also kind of in the other camp, right? We've heard from Kevin O'Leary be talking about, I don't know, that he wants to be certain his coins aren't blood coins, as he calls them, ones from China. A lot of yours came from the Silk Road. Ross Ulbricht, when you won that auction over Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I mean,
free Ross. Let's get him out of jail. I mean, the guy's an amazing entrepreneur. We need more entrepreneurs.
That's the way you look at it.
We need the world to have people who are out there willing to take risks and try things. And when you start, you know, putting too many regulations on people, put them in too small a box, once the government controls everybody, you don't have that freedom, and and you end up more like North Korea than South Korea. You end up with the government control and abject poverty and a miserable lifestyle instead of free and open, and transparent.
Well, that's interesting
world.
because
you obviously consider it a viable investment. And who knows if Elon Musk's tweet, latest one, was the reason that Bitcoin got pushed around.
It's like, you know, I mean, obviously there are problems with Silk Road in terms of what they were selling, maybe not necessarily the transactional currency they chose, Bitcoin, but when it comes to that,
he was a platform.
When it comes to that, I mean, are there issues around? It sounds like you wouldn't care where your Bitcoin came from, obviously, if you got it from the Silk Road. Some people would look at that as dirty Bitcoin, but to you,
I bought the Bitcoin from the U.S. Marshal's office. What are you talking about?
Well, that's the thing.
Where do you get your? Aren't you in the media? Where do you get your facts?
No, I'm saying
I bought that from the U.S. Marshal's office.
In terms of that delta, the 100,000 and 20,000, can it go more than that? And the reason I ask is, when it was 5,000, going from 5,000 to potentially 100,000, that was actually a great bet. If you believe that, it's harder today to make that. You know, people then have to sort of make some decisions about whether they want to do this in Bitcoin, maybe they want to try another cryptocurrency, or buy something else in the market that could do better.
But what does it say about crypto as an asset class as a whole if it can be pushed around so violently because of the tweet of one alleged supporter?
No, for sure. I'm saying that that's the right way to go, and I'm saying that there's probably no distinction between dirty Bitcoin or clean Bitcoin or whatever, right?
Wait, I don't know what you're talking about. Bitcoin is Bitcoin, and it is an extraordinary new currency.
Yeah.
And I don't know where you come up with this weird thought of a dirty.
No, it's not my thought. Kevin O'Leary's thought was talking about it matters now when institutional investors are getting into this space. They care where the Bitcoin comes from, whether it's a Chinese miner or US miner.
Mine has just gone from one place to me.
Yeah, and
so they know exactly where my Bitcoin has come from.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mine is probably, I'm never going to sell it because what would I sell it into?
Well, listen,
why would I sell
the
currency of the future into the currency of the past?
Yeah, I get it. The way you have to look at it is that you have to make a binary decision. I believe in it for a long-term asset class play as property, or I don't. So that's decision number one. I now do. It's been controversial, but I started in 2017. And now I'm saying to myself, look, I don't really care if a tweet from Elon Musk or anybody else can move it 38%, as long as I'm getting paid to wait. So I've decided I'm going to have a 3% weighting in Bitcoin. And now for the first time, Scott, because of all my DeFi investments, I'm making between 4.7 and 9%. The more volatility I get, the more I make.
You and I are in the same boat here.
Taking euros and buying drachma with it.
Well, you guys are in the same. You and I are in the same boat. I mean, I'm on the same page where it seems like there is a little bit of an overblown take in terms.
But I think Kevin's right. People are going to say, "Wait, this is a better asset class than fiat cash."
Well, it's the same thing. Like if you're saying, "Oh, I want to be in cash," no one asks you where your cash came from, right?
Yeah, it's interesting, but now. Yeah, I mean, really, the criminal element has all gone to cash. They don't want to use Bitcoin because there's a perfect record of everything that happens on the blockchain.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what's kind of beautiful about the blockchain. You can see actually where your currency
that's why I think,
from.
I mean.
So I don't care as long as I'm not trading and I'm buying it as property. I have a 3% weighting. I have 5% weighting in gold. I may move up to 5% in Bitcoin, but my point is, sure, there's vol, but vol is your friend. You understand DeFi. So look, Elon, tweet like crazy. Keep it up. I don't care. I'm not selling my Bitcoin at this price, or even if it goes up 100%, because I'm mining the yield with DeFi. I'm making money with the volatility, and that's what's different about last year. And by the way, this conference, Scott, let me put it to you this way. It's insane in there. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. It's rabid interest in Bitcoin, and maybe that's good, maybe that's bad, but bring on the vol so Mr. Wonderful can make some interest. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, that's an important takeaway here, and it's important coming from you too, legendary VC here, Tim Draper, founder of Draper Associates. Appreciate you stopping by here.
Great, my
and talking
pleasure.
with me. This
It's
is
a
really
great
fun.
conference. People,
Gotta come out here.
We're in the free country of Miami here.